Yo, back at it today. Chicken's chilling, afternoon siesta. I want to talk about this Middle East crisis and who is going to win on this. Who actually wins on this crisis? This crisis made up of the decision of one man. Yeah, Iran caused some problems for herself, and Israel didn't like them, and that's a story as old as time. But Israel would not have made a move without an ally. So this was one man's decision to go in and kick stuff up with Iran. The Make America Great Again guy. And I wonder if this has the potential of making America great again. Pretty much zero chance that it makes America great again. This destroys a lot of foreign ties, which were already strained from his Making America Great Again tariffs that were deemed illegal. So his international diplomacy has always been trash, even from his first term. Now it's worse. Now it's much worse, and we're on our own with Israel. We are on our own, but the fact that's beside the point. We voted for this cocksucker, and he's doing exactly what he wants to do because he's the king, and that is proving to be what it is. But who wins in this? We already know America's not going to win. Our taxes are not going to go down. Our energy is going to go up. It's already gone up. It's going to continue to go up. The rest of the world's energy is going up. The Middle Eastern airlines are losing millions, if not billions, a day due to this lack of being able to make flights. There's basically one artery that goes over Azerbaijan that can connect the European side to the Middle Eastern side of the world, and that's a 100-mile corridor, and that can't manage all of the airline traffic, obviously, even if it did make economic sense to make that flight and burn the amount of gas it takes to make that flight instead of just going over Russia or Iran, which were major corridors before this. Maybe not Russia, but Iran was. So, again, I ask, who is going to benefit? Well, now we've got a war. So the Defense Department is going to defense budget is going to benefit. That's about the only benefit to the U.S. The other benefit is going to be to environmental systems and getting away from oil and gas. And who's the number one environmental product producer in the world? China. Oh yeah, our enemy. One of our big enemies. One of our big rivals. Maybe not enemy, but rival. So what have we done? We started this bullshit in Iran. And what's it going to do? It's going to richen China. They make all the batteries. They make all the electric cars. They make all the solar panels. They make all the inverters. They make all the electronics to make any type of... They make all the windmills. They make all the electronics to make any type of green energy possible. So we cause an energy crisis, and China is going to benefit. Our main rival is going to benefit. So we're making these idiotic decisions. Not we. He is making these idiotic decisions with no give a damn about what it's actually going to do. He's going to be dead soon, from natural causes or otherwise. He doesn't care. He's a typical U.S. businessman thinking about one quarter at a time. Well, because he only has a few more quarters left to live just because of his age. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the environment. He doesn't care about international relations. He doesn't care about anything. He only cares about the next quarter. That's all he cares about, because he might not make the quarter after that. So what he's doing to enrich in China, he doesn't care. He's not going to be dealing with the aftermath of that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about his grandkids. He cares about himself. That's it. And so this is the result. This guy has started some bullshit. We're going to have an energy crisis. Even if nothing, if the dust up, the war finishes tomorrow, we're going to have an energy crisis for the next 3 to 5 years at least, because Qatar makes 20% of the natural gas for the world. And one of their natural gas pipelines or systems has been blown up as a result of these Shahed drones. So that's gone, and that's going to take 3 to 5 years to rebuild and billions of dollars. So add that to more money that this bullshit is costing Middle Eastern countries. Qatar is an example. Dubai, you get thrown in jail if you put a video up of a drone hitting a building. They'll put you in jail because they're trying so hard to protect their image that Dubai is the place to go and it doesn't have this kind of problems. So that's what we're facing here. This is a major freaking problem for these countries. Yeah, they're keeping their mouth shut for now, but not for long. They're not going to stand this shit for much longer. This is ridiculous. So let's go back to the Shahed. So when is this going to end? When one side runs out of ammo, okay? Or when one of these other countries finally says, look, Trump, knock this shit off. We can't take it anymore. You're killing our bottom line. If you think of us as an ally, then shut this shit down. But if that doesn't happen, it's us against them, and they're making $35,000 drones that are set it and forget it. They can be launched out of a truck. They can be launched out of a truck that costs 35 grand, set it and forget it. You set the coordinates and say go. It's not like somebody's driving this thing. You just set a GPS coordinate and hit the button to launch that bastard, and it launches out of the back of your truck, out of your backyard, off of your mama's butt. I don't know. It launches out of nothing. It takes off with a little rocket assistance, and it flies under the radar, and we're not equipped to deal with that thing. Especially not if you're talking about financially. We send $1 million rocket to kill a $35,000 drone. That doesn't make any sense. But they have an unlimited supply of those things. They've got thousands and thousands of them. So we think we're going to control that supply by blowing up where they're hidden. I don't think so. They can be hiding anywhere. They can be hiding in somebody's garage. It's just a gas engine, a 2-stroke gas engine, and a small aircraft. They can be hiding anywhere. And it doesn't take but 1 or 2 of them things to get through to cause devastation. It's only got a 120 pound warhead on it, but run that into a skyscraper and tell me how that feels. It's the fear that the problem is, the fear. The fear that it could happen at any time, hit at any time. In the U.S., we don't have the fear. Or in other countries, they don't have that fear. But they do. We are feeling the result in fuel, in the cost of energy. So, what do? We got to shut that shit down. Otherwise, we're going to enrichen our neighbor to the east. China's just going to get richer and stronger, and we're going to have a bigger problem. We're going to be running through all of our stockpiles of weapons and missiles. We're already low due to helping out the war in Ukraine. So what's going on here? We're going to get weakened to the point, and China's going to get rich to the point that they're going to catch us with our pants down, and they're going to take advantage of this. We're sinking ourselves. The U.S. is sinking itself into a recession for sure, without a doubt. But the rest of the world's coming with it, because without that Middle Eastern oil, the rest of the world is not prepared. And where are they going to send their money? They're going to send it to China to make them more prepared for an energy crisis. They're going to be buying solar panels. They're going to be buying electric cars. They're going to be buying batteries. They're going to be buying electronics. All that kind of shit to get out from under this. This is what happens when you don't think about. You got to think to the future. You got to think 2 steps ahead. You got to think about what you're doing. When you're living quarter by quarter, this is what happens. It's a damn shame. A freaking damn shame. And there ain't nothing we can do about it. I don't live in the U.S. I don't give a shit. You know, I got away from that. I don't care. I got away from that. But I live on the stock market. And the stock market ain't doing so good. It wasn't doing so good when the tariffs went down. You know, thankfully I'm living on dividends, which are much more stable. But I'm not happy seeing the balance go down. I haven't sold anything, so I'm not hurting. But it's just the fact remains is like, what are we doing? What's the long-term plan? What's the long-term goal? What's the goal with Iran? Even the short-term goal. There's no goal. There's no, hey, if this happens, we stop. There's none of that. A regime change. Well, they had that. And then what happened? The regime change lasted for about 2 days till they got another wacko in there. Even worse than the first wacko. So there's no end to this. This is how you start unendable wars. And this is what the world is going to have to deal with. And it's not helping the view of the U.S. around the world. I can guarantee you that. When people in the Philippines have fuel that's more than doubled at this point, and they're wondering how they're going to be able to get to work to make money to barely support their family even before this happened, now they really can't support their family. What's going on here? Like, what are they going to do? They're going to get more desperate. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for anybody. And, you know, I hope it stops soon. I hope everything happens to be good. I don't think it's gonna. I think you got way too many egos involved, and the number one ego is the one that started this shit. So, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe you could go vote. I don't know. I don't vote. I don't care. I'm not voting. I'm not blaming. All I'm saying is this is what happens when you're trying to make America great again. What a pile of bullshit. All right. What do y'all think? Like, comment, subscribe. Or unsubscribe. Yeah, you know, I got an opinion. So what? You can have an opinion. So what? Facts are still the facts. We're living in this bullshit because of one fucking guy. See y'all later.